Welcome to our presentation. Today we'll be going over how to add items to your Even28 online store. My name is Ali John Jazir. I'll be doing your presentation. So Even28 is a website that helps dentists create profiles to promote their practice, as well as online stores to sell dentistry directly online. In today's lecture, I'll be going over what my profile looks like, a few basic items, and how you can price them in order to succeed. And I'll also go over a list of all the items that make sense to have listed on your Even28 online store. So, first and foremost, let's see what my profile looks like. So this would be my Even28 online store. As you can see, it starts with a headshot of me, which is required of all the profiles. Then there's a little snippet that just mentions my reviews and what items I sell. There's a link to my discount dental plan, that's for premium providers. And here are my items. So as you can see, I sell everything from an exam all the way to a tooth whitening, to a dental implant. Also have basic stuff like fillings and crowns. But because I do a lot of surgeries, I focus on those. I sell even more complex stuff like snap-on dentures and all-on-fours. And of course, I have your basic stuff as well, such as a flipper, night guard, and other stuff. So I got about 20 items listed here. Afterwards, you're going to see my reviews. I've been lucky enough to have a couple good reviews, so they are listed right here. And then this is the review submission form. So this is very detailed. This gets added after you create your online store. And what you can do is the patients can rank you for whatever treatment they got. So if I bought a custom whitening tray, I can go and click on that. Then I can grade the patient, the doctor, and write a little review. So that helps you get better ratings so you can promote your store and sell more items. And here are a couple links back to your profile. Okay, so this is my profile, my online store, Even28 online store, and got about 20 items or so listed on it. All right, let's take a look at what a few of these items look like when patients go to purchase them. So let's say a patient wants to purchase an exam, X-ray, and cleaning. It's very clear here. The price is listed here. This is the regular price. This is the discounted price. It tells the patient exactly what they're getting. So regular dental cleaning in absence of gum disease, which means if it's a deep cleaning, you can either charge them more or just refund them. And then they can get an option to make a payment here. And then there's a description of explaining why this is important and a little fine print that basically helps you not have to honor this if this is a deep cleaning or something else to that effect. And you work with your rep to make sure everything is to your liking. Another item would be a PFM. Now, most of us aren't used to selling crowns online. We're very secretive with our crown prices, but I'm going to explain to you why it's important to put your items such as crowns with prices on your online store. But before we do that, let's go ahead and see what this looks like. So my regular price would be $1,000. It's discounted to $699 if you buy it online. It mentions that implant crowns, ceramics, onlays, porcelain veneers are not covered. So that if somebody buys that and they made a mistake, I can charge them extra or refund them if I choose not to do it. And then there's a little description and fine print at the bottom. So this is how it works. And again, everybody's going to have a different situation in terms of the neighborhood they work with and the prices they charge. Your rep will help you come up with prices that work for you. And again, don't feel bad. You can always remove an item, add an item, change the prices. If I'm not happy with this, I can increase it to $7.99, or I can just, if I want more patients, I can drop it down to $5.99. So your prices aren't fixed in stone. You just send them an email, and a few days later, they'll update your prices, and that's going to be a new price. But you do need to be careful. You want to make sure the price you put here, the UCRs, is similar to what your UCR would be, and a discounted price would be what your best price is if somebody's kind of like bargaining with you. Am I okay doing a crown for $6.99? Well, what is it, $6.30 after the commission? Of course I am, because if somebody comes to me, a lot of times these are patients who are looking for a new dentist. So I'll be doing the crown and I'm acquiring a new patient, which is worth a few $100. On top of that, a lot of these patients are going to be upgraded. So, I'll be discussing with the patient and I'll explain to Mrs. Jones how it's a front tooth, so the metal might not look as appealing and the porcelain may crack off from the metal, and she's a grinder, so she's at high risk for that. So You can always make an upgrade, but you have to keep in mind you have to offer the base treatment. So if a patient comes and they're like, you know what, doctor, this is my budget, this is all I want to do, you have to do it. If you refuse to do it, they can remove the item from your store or even shut down your store. So you don't want to do that. And at the same time, the more items you sell, the more reviews you get. So if you're keeping your patients happy and getting those 5-star reviews, your online store is going to pick up, and that's when you actually can get a couple patients a week just from having an online store like I am. So um, you want to be transparent and be honest. And then, of course, if somebody wants to pay a little extra to get something more, that's totally up to you and the patient. And I encourage you to upgrade anybody who's interested, but at the same token, offer the base price to people who want to go with that. And then here's another item I have, which gets really complicated, and this is the package deals, where like an overdenture package, 2 implants and a denture. And to me, these are worth it. First of all, a lot of people who come in for this, they need a few teeth pulled, they need some additional bone grafts, so I'll be charging a few hundred extra for that, maybe 1,000 extra depending on the situation. Sometimes they need 2 implants, 4 implants instead of two. So there's always a room to make more money. But even if I get a case like this at $3,749, it's still kind of worthwhile to me because that patient is coming to me without any advertisement. And don't forget, people who are shopping for these more expensive treatments, price is very important. I mean, people don't just have that kind of money laying around. And if they've been without teeth for a long time, they're saving up money. A lot of them want to do financing. So to put your prices there is a great advertisement method. Very few of these are going to be actually purchased online. Most of these are going to be 9 out of 10 times. They're going to call you to inquire more. You're going to get them in. So when that happens, you don't even really pay a commission because they're not actually buying it from your online store, but you're using your online store to promote your product. And you take these again for these bigger cases, you always want to try to have some before and after pictures, and I do. I have a lot of before and after implant pictures. So patients see those, they see my prices, they have some nice photos, and they can kind of associate those with a good price, and that'll seal the deal. So again, as you get more comfortable with your online store, don't hesitate to add more expensive items to it because it works. Okay, so these are a few items. Let's go ahead and take a look at basically which items you can add to your online store. And when you're looking at dentistry, we're all used to these fee schedules that insurance companies send us with 700 different procedures. Well, let me be honest with you. We don't do 700 different procedures. Most of us do about 30 different procedures. Okay, and yes, there's little upgrades and minor details and whatnot, but uh, the important thing is what patients search for on Google. And in terms of those, there's probably about 30 different search terms. So what you want to do is you want to put those on your online store. Okay, let's start with the most essential items that you can put on your online store. Obviously, an exam, X-ray, and cleaning is the most important one. You can price it whatever you want. I mean, PDS is doing $59, so that's a great price to put. But if you're in a high-end neighborhood, you can charge $99 or $149. If you're in a neighborhood that's a little bit struggling, you might want to go with $49 or $39. It's up to you. You set your prices. You can be in a high-end neighborhood, but you really want to get new patients in because you just open up your practice. Fine, put that price a little bit less. But again, just make sure it's a price you can work with because for $59, you're going to have to pay some commission, so you're going to be left with 40 some dollars. Make sure that's enough for you to do a cleaning on an average patient. Again, keep in mind that you are getting a new patient and they're going to need more work, so consider that into your price when you decide to do this. And again, your rep will help you come up with prices, and you can always make changes to them. Okay, so an exam, X-ray, cleaning is a must. Whitening products. A lot of people who are looking for cosmetic dentistry and haven't been to the dentist for a long time start looking for their search of a new dentist by researching teeth whitening products. So you want to get as many teeth whitening products as you can. If you do in-office whitening, if you have Zoom or Polo White or whatever you do, go ahead and list that. If you want to make custom whitening trays, list it as well. If you want to sell gel refills, whatever you want, it's your store. But listing teeth whitening products gets really high quality cosmetic patients. A lot of these patients actually need veneers or bonding or teeth straightening, and they just think they need teeth whitening. So to sell the teeth whitening is a great way to get some really high quality cosmetic dentistry patients. So I encourage you to list these items on your online store. The next set of items, which again might be a little bit unfamiliar for you guys in terms of actually having prices, but I'll explain to you why, is custom devices. Okay, something like a athletic mouth guard, a night guard, a retainer, a sleep apnea device, even something like a temporary flipper denture. Um, the thing is, you have to realize who searches for a custom night guard. A lot of times it's somebody who, A, they might be looking for a new dentist. Okay, so great, become my new dentist. I'll give you a $200 discount if you're going to come to me now instead of your previous dentist. And then B, it could be somebody who hasn't been to the dentist for 10 years. They have a bunch of broken teeth or they have severe grinding habits and they need a whole bunch of crowns. Again, great. Come to me. Let me make your night guard. I'll give you a little discount here, but I know you're going to need more work. And another thing I want you to keep in mind is we're not just competing with the dentist next door for these items. You can buy these things online nowadays. I mean, I even had a patient who bought his denture online, believe it or not. They sent him a kit. He took his own impressions, sent it back. It was somewhere in New York, and they basically made him a denture. So you're not competing with dentists anymore. You're competing with labs, with anybody online. I mean, look at Smile Direct Club. They're selling their clear aligners without really any direct dentist supervision online. So if you're selling these custom devices, you're getting the patient and you're making a little money. So you have to keep that into consideration and the value of that. And to me, I'm okay giving a discount to get those patients because I know somebody who wants to get retainer. A lot of people think they need a retainer, but they actually end up getting braces because they have crooked teeth and they think, oh great, a cheap retainer, I can fix my mouth. They'll come to you and next thing you know, you'll sell them braces. So these custom devices are just great. I recommend everybody to list as many as you're comfortable with, depending on what your focus of your practice is. If you do sleep apnea, list this. If you do cosmetic dentistry and a lot of full mouth rehabs, list this. You want to attract teenagers and younger folks, put a mouth guard up. And again, same thing with braces. Okay, so these are the items that I recommend everybody considers listing on their online store. Exam, teeth whitening, custom dental devices. Let's go ahead and look at some other items that you can list on your online store. Actual dental treatment. Okay, let's start with fillings first. We're all accustomed to 1, 2, 3, 4 surface fillings. We don't have that online because you can't really determine how many fillings you have if you're sitting at home, you have a cavity. So it's just one filling price, and that's the one you want to list. And what I recommend is list your class 2 or maybe class 3, might be a little high, maybe between those two. So just list a price you're comfortable doing fillings. Now you might say, Dr. Jazir, what if it's a huge filling? Well, if it's a huge filling, you can list tooth binding price and you can just sell it as a tooth bonding. Because yeah, I wouldn't want to fix this for $200. I would want to, make sure it's worth my time and I'll have to use a lot of equipment and polish it and follow up with it. So tooth bonding will essentially be a 4-surface filling. Everything else falls into a white tooth filling category. But again, you can only have one price because it has to be transparent. When patient buys it, they want to come in and do the work. Okay, these are patients who are going to just come and get the work done. So you don't have to spend a lot of times building them up. A lot of times, you just have to be honest and you have to have a good price, and that's all it takes. Now again, if you notice this is white tooth filling, this is your store. I mean, you do whatever makes sense for you and your patients. You can, if you do silver fillings, you can list silver fillings. So for example, you can put silver filling for $199, white filling for $249. Or you can only put silver filling for $199. Then when the patient comes in, Mrs. Jones, I can upgrade it to a white filling. It'll be an extra $50, $75. Do you want to do that or not? Now, you have to realize if you do that, you have to honor the base fee. So if Mrs. Jones says, you know what, no, I'm okay with silver fillings. I can't afford white fillings right now. You know what, it has amalgam mercury, and they still refuse it. Then okay, fine. I'll do a silver filling. But again, if you aren't going to honor your prices or your treatments, then they can pull that item or close your store. So you want to make sure you're honest, you're giving patients the option to upgrade, but at the same token, you're kind of doing what's in the best interest of you and your patient. Cosmetic dentistry stuff. You can list your crowns. Again, we mentioned how you can put the PFM crowns. You can put your inlays and onlays. You can put your porcelain veneers. And again, this is, a lot of you might not be comfortable with porcelain veneers. Let's spend a second talking about this. Let's say $1,000 is an average price for a porcelain veneer, probably a little bit on the cheap side, of course. Listen, some of you might want to do it for less. I want to do a porcelain veneer, let's say for $7.99. Great, you're going to get a lot of patients. Go ahead and list it, and you can do volume. Now, some of you might say, you know what? I do a lot of high-end cosmetic dentistry. My porcelain veneer fee is $1,500 or $1,800. Okay, so what you want to do in that case is you want to sell a porcelain veneer consultation. You can sell the consultation for whatever you want, $59, $79, $100, whatever is a good price for you. At that point, if you want to sell the consult and your fees are higher, then you want to have a lot of photos, right? So you want to send a bunch of pictures of your before and after treatments to your Even28 profile, build a really nice practice profile page, link it to your online store, and then you can sell the consults if your fees are higher. Because obviously, if your fee is really high, you don't want to list the line. So, but when you sell the consult, then and you have a lot of pictures, but again, when you're selling the consult, that's what patients are going to see. And if from there, they're going to go see your pictures, they're going to go back to your consult, they're going to come to you, and you can sell these more expensive treatments for more uh, for at a higher price. So if that's your goal, again, Even28 caters to everything. You can go for volume, you can go for quantity or quality. It's up to you. You just got to fit a store and create pictures and kind of come up with something that works for you. The tools are there. You just got to make it work for you. Dentures. Remember we mentioned flipper? You can sell a permanent denture. I don't sell dentures on my store because I usually do implants. But if you do a lot of dentures, you have a denture lab, put a low price and start selling dentures left and right. Trust me, people will drive for dentures. Um, Orthodontics. You can sell braces online. Now, I know there's restrictions. You don't want to do a 7-year case for $3,000, for example. You can put all those in your fine prints. Okay. But again, if you put your prices, you get in front of patients. What does braces near me cost? They're going to end up on your page and you're going to get those patients as compared to your neighboring dentist. So you want to list this there. The clear aligner one, I don't want to spend too much time on this. If you want to learn more about the Even28 clear aligners, you can go to their website. But they have an at-home program with a fixed price. So a lot of times it's better listing that as opposed to Invisalign in order to attract patients who could possibly go to Smile Direct Club. And then when they come to you, you can decide if they qualify for this program or if they need braces or if they need Invisalign. So you can learn more about those by going to our clear aligner courses. But that's another item you can list. Listing Invisalign gets a little tricky because Invisalign has such a price range and the lab bills vary significantly. So to put one set price for Invisalign is usually really hard. That's why a lot of times it's recommended to list the Even20 at home for the lower price. Get the patients in and then educate them on exactly what their needs are. So they're getting the right treatment and they understand why they either have to spend a little money or if they spend a lot more or just a little bit more. So yeah, that one has a fixed price, so it helps it make sense. Let's keep moving on. If you do a lot of surgeries, this is what you want to list, right? Tooth extractions. Again, here's another example. You don't want to do wisdom teeth, just write on excluding wisdom teeth. You want to do wisdom teeth, just write on your wisdom tooth extraction prices. Gets a little tricky here. I know it's impacted. So again, that's where you have to rely on bone grafting and add-ons if it's a more complex case. But we can only put one price. So you got to come up with a price that makes sense for you. Dental implants. I'll give you another example of how you can list your items. If you're a surgeon or a periodontist, okay, fine. Just sell your dental implant post only. And again, the picture kind of explains it and the details of what you're selling. It'll be in the fine print so the patient knows what you're getting. If you're an implant dentist or if you're an oral surgeon that works with a dentist, then you can sell a complete dental implant, and it'll be very clearly stated what the patient's getting. So it depends on what you do and what works for your practice. Again, these are all customized to work for you. I'll go over a couple more items and we'll wrap it up. These are combination treatments. So, for example, you want to sell a full mouth deep cleaning as opposed to a regular cleaning. You can list that. Or let's say you're a really good surgeon and you do 4 wisdoms plus sedation and you have a price that you're comfortable with. Go ahead and list that because a lot of times people see this ad, they'll come to you and you'll be surprised how people with insurance will still come to you because your price is good and you can bill them plus the insurance. So don't be hesitant. If you're a good dentist, you're skilled at certain things, list those items. Doesn't matter what the price is. I've listed these things on my stores. So if you want to do complete snap-on dentures or all-on 4 teeth, if you're okay putting your prices, put them there. Again, we all know there's a bunch of add-ons to these treatments. There's always extractions, bone grafts, and maybe specialized X-rays. But again, putting your prices is one of the best ways to attract these patients, because uh, for these more expensive treatments, people are gonna look for prices. Trust me, anybody who's gonna get wisdom teeth extracted or overdentures, they're gonna look for prices. So if your price um, appeals to them, they'll come to you. And like I said, a third of the times they'll have a good insurance to go along with that too. So you really have nothing to lose. Plus, people don't buy these more expensive items, so you don't even have to pay a commission. Just list them on your store, get in front of patients. Okay, so we got about 25, 30 items. That covers about 90% of the work that non-specialists do in their practice. I think I'm missing a root canal there, but that's pretty much it. Okay, it's simpler than you think. Contact your rep. Just shoot an email at admin@even28. You got nothing to lose. It's free to set up a store. Small commission, but things are changing. People like to buy stuff online. I'm getting at least 100 patients a year from just selling stuff online. And like I said, a lot of times they purchase it, a lot of times they call from me. But if you create an online store, you can get a whole bunch of patients that you never even imagined. It's good for your practice, and it's great for the patients, because patients can afford care. Trust me, one of the biggest hurdles to getting dental care is price. And patients don't know your prices. So create that online store, get your prices in front of patients, and optimize your store and make it work for you. It did for me, so I'm sure it will work for you too. Thank you for listening to our presentation. That pretty much concludes everything I have to say about listing items on your Even28 online store. If you want to get your profile started, go ahead and shoot an email. It's going to be admin@even28.com. Just request that they set up an Even28 profile or an online store for you. And if you want to ask me a question, you can reach me at Dr. J, which is DRJAY, @even28.com. Thanks again, and have a wonderful day.